landscape shifts, now we have access to best-in-class technology. Secondly, Ilitch Sports Entertainment is a very new construct and brand that's forward-facing, so we launched that in December of 21, early of 22. Historically, a lot of these business units operated quite independent from one another. And so at the end of the day, we didn't have a very clear data strategy where we could use numbers to maximize our impact on the organization. We had, and I see one of our former BAT members right there, we had a number of us nerds across 5 different departments, and we needed to get a little bit more forward thinking about our strategy and ultimately how we can provide professional growth and development opportunities for our colleagues and impact our organization in a positive fashion. So that's basically the framing up of our problem statement. So what did we do about it? Shortly after we launched the Ilitch Sports Entertainment brand, we signed up 601 Analytics. 601 Analytics is the Miami Heat's data strategy team. They white labeled their services and really think about their value prop in 3 particular areas. We have data engineering, Power BI development, advanced analytics. We really needed them to crush the data engineering side. So we wanted to build new in Azure. We needed people and engineers who understood our industry to make sure that we weren't hamstringing ourselves long-term by the way that, again, we're architecting our data. Secondly, we launched the BAT. So the business analytics team at Ilitch Sports Entertainment, I might be biased, but I think that logo is pretty sweet. So we all got in a room together. Our president at the time said, all right, this is the team that's going to take our organization to the next level. Taylor and everyone else, just don't screw it up. Like, let me know if you need anything. So that was about 18 months ago. We've been really hard at work since then, focusing on 3 primary areas: our people, our technology, and our results and impact. So for the balance of the presentation, I'm gonna rip through those 3. Let's start with our people. So we're 16 team members strong at the BAT. This is a huge win for us because when our team came together, we were 13 colleagues and 3 open positions. So as you'll see, we've produced 7-figure impact across our organization at effectively the same headcount. Over the last 12 months or so, we've had 8 new hires. So we've fulfilled those open positions. We've had some natural turnover along the way. Very proud and pleased with the level of talent that we've been able to onboard as part of the BAT. And my favorite stat in this presentation, we've had 5 internal promotions in 18 months. So we want to talk about creating paths of growth and development for our colleagues in Detroit. Like those opportunities are available for you if you hit these criteria. So what do we look for? Technical skill set. Obviously, we work in a technical field, so whether you're in CRM, an analyst, or advanced analytics, you have to know your way around the software. You have to have a strong work ethic. So as you saw with the Ilitch Sports Entertainment platform, the fun never stops, so you need to really be in love with the business. What's going to separate you? Culture. I'm huge on culture, huge on the power of people. Need you to be a good fit. We're about the team, the team, the team. So that's another shout out to the Michigan Wolverines in the house. You need to be innately curious. You need to have a bias towards action. You need to take ownership over your work. You need to be a self-starter. We're looking for unicorns. So if I had to summarize, what do we want? We want dogs. We want dogs, and what are dogs? Driven analysts with grit. So if you think you're a dog, hit me up. In terms of our structure, we have a bald guy there at the top. We got a vertical dedicated to ticketing and operations. We have another area of our business dedicated to performance marketing and corporate partnerships. We have a vertical dedicated to CRM, ticketing for both clubs and our B2B business. We have our in-house data scientist who supports all of our efforts across BAT. And then we've recently hired a business strategist that supports myself and our executive leadership team throughout our strategic planning process across all of the properties that I previously mentioned. So let's talk technology. You might be asking yourself, how do all of the stakeholders that I mentioned really play in the sandbox together? I think the simplest way I can articulate this is, I'll just call it the value chain, the data value chain, because we're at MIT Sloan Business School. Up front, we have Microsoft and Little Caesars. They support us with our IT infrastructure, our cloud capabilities, and our InfoSec. 601 is then a little bit further downstream, focused on our data integrations, our data architecture, our MDM and platform monitoring. And then BAT, we're downstream of the clean data, focused on the strategy, the insights, automated reporting, advanced analytics, CRM, contact strategy. In terms of our data roadmap, I'm happy to talk to any of you in the room a little bit more offline about this, but here's a representative sample of all the data integrations that we've completed to date and what's on our roadmap over the next 6 months, and then a few more aspirational items that we're going to be getting to over time with our partners at 601 Analytics. So let's get into some of the fun stuff, results and impact. So our first major win, well, hold off on the video just for a second if you could. Go back. We formed the team in May 22. We're with 601. We're developing our Azure environment. We're developing a culture with our team. Data is a product, in my opinion, so we're understanding how we should be engaging with our business partners. How should we be intaking work? How should we be ruthlessly setting prioritization? We're doing like all of that plumbing, right? And our first major win was on Friday the 13th of January, 2023. We launched our Power BI reporting suite across over 400 colleagues in our business. So Power BI made our content management strategy very simple and clean. We had over 20 apps, and it was a rousing success. And what this video is going to highlight is we didn't just send, I would say, like a stodgy corporate email saying, go to Power BI for all your data. We decided to have a little bit of fun with it, and so that's what this video is going to reflect.
Okay, so this is Excel, not a dashboard solution. Gathering data and insights manually can turn you into your parents, which can be a lot for business professionals. Going to Power BI for your data is going to be different. Let's just accept that.
This is how we count the turnstile.
Not anymore, Mike. Let's give those thumbs a rest.
Here is how we track our invoicing, and as you can see here, this is how we manage our inventory.
No. Printing revenue reports from ProVenue and Arctics? The answer is no. Those methods may have worked for your parents, but we have better solutions now.
The business analytics team can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can help you make smarter decisions.
So cool, again, that was some fun we had shooting that commercial. One of my favorite snippets was when we walked into our premium sales leader's office. I had to write the script. He actually had that white sticky note on his wall, and I said, what is that? He literally, that's how they were tracking their invoices at the time, so we created an invoice tracker like a week later for him. So Power BI, what this really enables us to do is deliver insight to our businesses in near real time, right data, right hands, right time. So on the left, that's a view of our event flash, which again is direct query every few minutes throughout the course of our hockey and our baseball events. On the right is one of our most used dashboards throughout baseball season. This is all dummy data, so everybody knows, but I did want to keep the sell-through rates accurate for this date, so if any Detroit sports fans are in the crowd, that was Miguel Cabrera's last game in Major League Baseball, and not afraid to admit that I wept quite a bit during that afternoon. Power BI helps us drive operational excellence, so here's a couple solutions we've developed. On the left, we can map in all of our NPS scores verbatims, do word cloud analysis at the section level for all of our live events, drive operational excellence to the tune of our NPS scores have increased 5 or 6% at our 5 or 6 points rather at our downtown venues since we've published this over the last 12 months. On the right, we're embedding our ticket scan predictions at the section level within Power BI and working closely with our operators to make sure that we're running our venues as efficiently as possible. Power BI, we're using it to help us drive accountability. So we're tapping Power BI directly into our CRM system. We're uploading a lot of our sales targets, and now our sales leaders are able to have much richer conversations with their reps to, again, make sure that we're driving accountability and ultimately more sales to the portfolio. One tool that we're excited to continue to push and lean on is Power Apps, so like low-code software development. Here's a snapshot of a solution that we worked with in partnership with our Tigers marketing team for the 2024 season. We've made a lot of changes through our promo and giveaway schedule and our strategy, and this was a tool that we developed for them so that our marketing folks can stress test and do scenario analysis to understand what's going to generate the most incremental sales. So I see some folks from the Red Sox, you all refer to this as Bobblytics. This is our take at Bobalytics. Our Azure data platform, we can cleanly land a lot of our advanced analytics solutions within our reporting suite. Here's an example of a cosine similarity model looking at Red Wings single game ticket performance, both units and revenue. This is a tool, one of several tools that we've been able to use to drive our single game ticket yields on the primary and in combination the secondary over 16% year over year. So that's a huge win for us, especially as the on-ice performance improves. And then here's one of my favorite projects that we've done over the last 18 months. So on the left is our single game price level structure for 2023 at Comerica Park. We're in the bottom 5 of Major League Baseball with 22 price levels. Thankfully, we use data to help drive single game yields 13% throughout the course of that season. But what really gets me excited is we over 3x'd the number of price levels. So we're probably, if I had to guess, in the top quarter or so of Major League Baseball. Our goal isn't just to have the most price levels, and that's not really the intent here. The intent is we're going to enable us to have much more flexibility in the way that we're pricing our individual game tickets. We went on sale February 12th to members, registered users on the 13th, to the public on Valentine's Day. If you take opening day aside, which is a holiday in Detroit, our single game yields are up another 14%, and I think this price level structure has a lot to do with that. So we're really excited to see how this continues to evolve throughout the course of the season. Here's a tool that we recently developed for our marketing folks that focuses on attribution. So on the left-hand side, we're looking at attribution by channel over the course of a season campaign. And then on the right, we're looking at marketing mix models so that we can get more prescriptive with our recommendations to both our Red Wings and Tigers marketing staff. So this is a new one that's a few weeks off the press and really excited to kind of like push this into play a little bit further. And lastly, I've mentioned data is a product. I'd be remiss if I didn't highlight the fact that like business partnership and buy-in from ownership is critical to the success. I think we all recognize that. But be very thoughtful about your communication, your meeting cadence, and the tools that you're using to collect work intake, to prioritize your work, and to establish clear communication back and forth with your business partners, but also up the chain. So this is Microsoft Lists. This is something that we use and we embed within our Teams channels. We pull this up every time we talk to our business partners. I use this to communicate upstream to my boss, Ryan Gustafson, and keep him in tune with what we're doing. And another tip that, or kind of a cool thing that we do is every month we send out a BAT monthly newsletter. So that's a fun way to engage in layman's terms with the business, like who we're hiring, who we're promoting, what are some wins that we've had as a business, who are, we call them like power users of the month. So which sales rep or other person in marketing is using our apps, feedback. So again, I cannot highlight enough the importance of communication and product mindset. So what's next? We're actively deploying a new CRM solution. See a couple friends here from Australia and the UK that are helping support that, so we should have some good news there shortly. We're going to continue to enrich our Azure environment with the support of 601 Analytics. And then our next horizon of value in my eyes is twofold. One is getting deeper with our fan data. I think customer data platform, segmentation, really getting to know all of our fans at a deeper level than we've historically done. And then secondly, optimizing our sales operation. So let's lean further into Copilot and other Microsoft tools and look at by product. How are we engaging with our customers? How are we selling our products? How are we doing data acquisition, lead allocation, things of that sort. So we really want to map in our technology at a deeper level than in a more strategic way than we've done in the past. So a recap of success factors: get you some dogs. That's internal dogs. Your partners need to be dogs. So you got to lead into that. Get the right culture fit across your tech stack. Second, data is a product. I've yelled that a few times today. And then thirdly, communication is key. And part of that is celebrating your wins. Data is hard, as we all know. A lot of folks sometimes in the biz don't necessarily recognize that. So be sure to shout out your team members and celebrate those wins and communicate those, and not in an arrogant way, but like, hey, we're doing good work around this organization. Let's keep going. So thank you. Here's my email. That's my cell phone number. If there's anything that I can do to be of service to you folks in this room, because you've had to sit with me for 20 minutes, I'm happy to do so. Talk through our solutions, our approach. If you're a dog, you want to come to Detroit, hit me up.
Are there any questions?
Taylor, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I've always got a question. Ilitch Sports, U.S. Olympic Paralympic Committee. So you mentioned in your portfolio with IS+E, you've got 2 professional teams. I'm wondering, do you share any tools or expertise with the sports analytics side of those teams' businesses?
So I know my peers at both the Red Wings and the Tigers, so Jay Sartori and Brian Campbell, pretty well. Like our teams are both structured a little bit differently. On the baseball side, we have more technical, full stack engineering type folks, and their roadmap's a little bit different. But the way we view it is, hey, we're peers. Let's stay in the loop and how we can lean into our IT team and make sure that we're getting the value that we need out of those partners. So, no, we're not doing anything explicitly saying, hey, like we think, Spencer Torkelson's going to hit 35 home runs this year.
Oh, sure. I'm wondering more about the tools. Like, are they also using the Microsoft suite of tools?
Yeah, so like on the hockey ops side, I know they're getting more involved on the Microsoft side, and I know on the baseball side, they're using some Microsoft tools and further down the path with some others.
And then my other question is about people. So you mentioned you're looking for dogs, and you mentioned that you're looking for the right fit. On our team, one of the things that we're struggling with is just to recruit women to our team. So I'm wondering, how has your success been for that, and what are your secrets?
I don't know if I have any secrets. So I'm, as you can all tell, like a very proud Detroiter, very proud Michigander. But I'm also aware, having lived out of market, the perception of Detroit. And so we've posted a lot of roles. I think our team skews a little bit younger than I would have hoped at the onset of hiring on 8 new team members, but super excited about like the ceiling, so like high upside. I was also a little bit surprised about how hard it was to recruit for specific roles that I thought, like when I was coming out of business school, like if I saw this, I would have fell out of my chair, right? And it was hard. And so I was on LinkedIn at night, and I was sending out in-mail to people to try to drum up some interest. I am very pleased to your point about creating more, like diversity is a very important component of that. Like the reality is, if I walk into a room of business analytics teams, they look a lot like me. And we've made some very good inroads. Like of the 8 folks that I've mentioned, it's a much more diverse set of folks than we had at the onset, and that's something I'm proud of, and it's going to continue to be an emphasis for us going forward.
Questions?
Hi, Taylor. Josh Brickman.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hi. Any mistakes along the way as you were building that you learned from as you were going?
Say that again?
Oh, sorry. Any mistakes you learned from as you were going?
Mistakes. That's a good question. I haven't really reflected on it. We've been still in, and I know there have some. And trust me, I make mistakes every single day. I put one foot in front of the other. We're in startup mode. So like our blinders have been on, and we've been rolling and running pretty hard. So I'm very much looking forward to developing like a scalable foundation that can give us a little bit of rhythm. Because I am pretty cognizant about like how demanding the environment is for a lot of our colleagues. But yeah, mistakes are, I don't have anything specifically that jumps out of my mind. I guarantee you maybe over a beer later I can find some. And I know that we've made some along the way, but nothing is super clear jumping out at the moment.
Any more questions?
Hi, Azar Karachi from Craft Analytics Group. Can you talk a little bit more about maybe the change management process on getting kind of your external stakeholders bought into what you're doing with analytics? Like usually that's one of the biggest hurdles of getting them to change their approaches and accept what you're doing.
Yeah, that's a great question, and it goes into a lot of like data as a product and communication is key. Like I'm very fortunate. Our owner is data forward and very much a believer of how you can use numbers to impact your business. So foundationally, that's like wind at our sails to know that we have that level of buy-in. My boss, I mentioned, Ryan Gustafson, he did my role at other clubs. So when we're talking about individual game ticket pricing for the Tigers, I would venture there's not somebody at his level who's in the weeds like he is, and that pushes us to be better. And that's part of the reason why my hairline suffered over the last few years of doing it. But like the change management, like I'm very fortunate, as well as our executive leadership team. Once they saw what we were doing, they say like, we want more of that, because we're a very numbers-based organization, and we drive a lot of accountability. And if we can be of service to our business partners and help them run their business better, like they're all in. And that is not, I'm sure a lot of folks in this room know, like that is not the case at a lot of organizations, and that's a real struggle and a real challenge where it's, hey, stay away from me, like nerd. I know my business, like I have my own sort of quasi-analytics sort of slant. So very lucky in that regard, and that's why I think over the last 18 months, I'll confidently say I think we've done like multiple years worth of progress in that time, and a large part of it is not only the work that we're doing, but it's the buy-in that we have from ownership all the way down to our C-suite, all the way down to our coordinators and our inside sales reps who are hopping into these tools.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you,
Taylor.
everybody. Really appreciate your time this afternoon.